because on Monday I was dealing with a stomach bug. Well, my daughter was dealing with a stomach bug. Thankfully not me. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay and my technology is working, because even though it's Thursday, it feels like a Monday. That is for sure. So, hi Katie. I don't know if you're still here. I think you were here early. Hi Sherry. Hi Linda. Hi Jess. How are ya? And hi Dawn. How is everybody doing tonight? I am going to, everything's refreshing. All right, here we go. Hey Zaza. All right, I'm going to be working on some curves today, but I got a special care package in the mail today, and I'm excited about it. But Dawn, which I think we're going to say her name is Zalindria. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Sandy. How's it going? Hi, Michelle. Oh, lots of people coming to hang on a Thursday. Feel like the good old days. Dawn sent me a cute care package in the mail today, including this. I don't know how old this book is. Maybe we can tell from, she got it at a library sale. Oh, it says copyright 1984. This book is older than me. Not by much, just by a smidge. But how cool is this book? It's called Curves Unlimited, and it has all these curves in it. So I'm excited. I think I said hi to Sandy, Zaza, and Linda. I'm going to seam my blocks together that I webbed the other day. Ooh, fun. And so she sent me this cool book, and then she sent me some of these orange peels that she cuts with her what is that? Quilt. And I was going to try to see if I could make an outer template for her. And would you look at this? This is the orange peel from my newest quilt pattern. And this is the orange peel she sent me from her Quilt, and it's pretty. It's not quite perfect, but the points line up. So I don't even know how you would make it like a little skinnier. So I'm going to try to sew one of these up right now on the outer pieces I cut for my quilt and see if it'll fit. That'll be fun. Hi, Don Stewart. How are ya? Quilt orange peel applique dye. There you go. Hi, and another Teresa. We got double Teresas and double Dons. Double the fun. How's it going? So I got these pins the other day, these little flathead magic pins. And we're going to give these a go. We're going to pin this up and seal it. And I have a couple of orange peels done for the pattern. And we're going to see how they compare. It's not quite a full quarter. Maybe it's an 1/8 of an inch difference on either side, making up the full. No, because you would think it would be a 1/2 inch. It's not 1/2 inch smaller, so that's so interesting. Hi, Mona. How are you? Mona, do you know who Amanda is from Stitching Life Together? She was interested in joining your Discord, but when I went into your Discord, I couldn't create an invite. I could create one for Lisa's Discord, but not for yours. So I couldn't get her an invite to your Discord. Hi, Katie. And if you guys are around, I'm going to be sewing on Katie's channel tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And I will probably be sewing more curves over there, trying to get this quilt top done. And Katie will be doing a tutorial of a quilt block while I'm curvy away. I'm excited to see how close this turns out to be to the other ones. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Arlie. How are you? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, Arlie, for some reason. All right, I'll just see if I can figure out again how to invite her. I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to invite. Hi, Jess. Welcome back. You made it back. We're testing out an Quilt orange peel applique die and seeing how it sews up in my orange peel templates. Because wouldn't that be nice if it worked out well and you wouldn't have to, if you had an acai quilt, you could make orange peels. Yeah, Zaza, give everybody the hubby and the dog update. Zaza's been going through it this last week. All the men in her life are creating problems. Well, most of the men in her life. I believe she has a son, but that hasn't caused any trouble. Oh, Jess says she's printed and she's ready to go. That's awesome. You'll have to let me know if you read through it, if you have any feedback. I'm welcome. I'm open to feedback. There's a lot of love in that quilt pattern, that is for sure. So first half looks pretty good. I know it's hard to see because I'm using the white background, but by the way, not to be creepy, Dawn, but your fabric smells really good. I don't know, is it Mary Ellen's Best Press? I can smell it. So the trick is with my orange peel. Oh, thanks, Mona. I'll send her an invite. I was like, there must be a trick here that I'm not getting. Zaza says both her dog and her husband are asleep because her dog had to have dental surgery and her husband had another surgery. So because and I'm going to make a video for this for anybody who buys the pattern too, and the thing is, because my quilt pattern, my templates have an extra 1/4 of an inch, so that if you're nervous about making curves, there's a little bit of a bonus. You have to line this up not with the, not with the edge of the other outer piece, but the edge of the orange peel. You need to align orange peel to orange peel. So there's going to be a tiny little gap here of about a 1/4 of an inch, which is just fine. But to be honest with you, I made the whole quilt behind me doing this incorrectly, and I was wondering why I was like slightly puffy, and it occurred to me the other day why I was a little puffy. It's fine though. I mean, I made like 3 quilts like that, and it's fine, but this is definitely the right way to do it. I had a great debate with my friend Brenda about if I was being crazy or not, and we decided I was crazy, but not for this reason. Oh, there was a, oh, I'm like, I know Best Press when I smell it. Oh, cool, Melanie, I'll send her the link. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Hopefully, if I missed you, let me know. Hi, Brenda. Sorry, my grandbaby had a tick. Oh. CJ my son had a tick on him last year. At least here, I know Brenda's in Canada, you can save the tick here in the US and you can send it somewhere and they can test it for Lyme disease. So I don't know what she did with the tick, but if she still has it, that might be an option for you guys. I did not know that until after I had flushed down the toilet the tick that I picked out of my kid. Yeah, and hers is little, like 2. So that's even scary. I mean, it's scary on a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old, but it's the littler they are, the scarier it is. Because at least I could be like, oh, my son will tell me if he's not feeling well, you know, and what it is with a little baby that can hardly talk. Brenda, do you have an AccuQuilt? I'm testing, Dawn sent me some orange peel applique blocks that she cut with her AccuQuilt, and I'm testing them with my templates to see how they look. Ironically, they're like exactly the same size of the new quilt pattern, so I had I had fabric cut I could just use. Because I couldn't wait to find out. I had to try it tonight, right after I opened the mail. Because I have no chill, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, her daughter is a first-time mom, too, so even worse. Yeah, Arlie says caretaking of no others is no joke. Adult, dog, human, or child, no kidding. Joy says, for me, caretaking is more mentally exhausting than anything. I agree. Even just like for my kids, keeping track of everything they need. Brenda says it was embedded in well. Oh, God, so frustrating. Yeah, I'm having some mom guilt tonight, guys, because my son is in his last 10 days of second grade, and they have like, and I have a daughter who's in UPK, and they all have like special activities. Like my daughter had a picnic. She also had the stomach bug this week. My son, they started the 10-day countdown to school, and he had to wear sunglasses one day. They're like wearing a certain color, red, white, and blue tomorrow for early flag day, but then he was also tie-dyeing shirts tomorrow. And I guess I was supposed to send in a white t-shirt. I thought it was due tomorrow. So I had one coming from Amazon that just got delivered because I completely forgot about it. Like, I don't know how people parented without Amazon, but they were due today. And so my son was like the only kid in class that didn't have a white t-shirt. The teacher had an extra one and she gave it to him and it was fine. But I'm feeling guilty because I just can't remember everything. And I can't find where she ever told. I mean, obviously, I'm the only one that didn't know it was due today. I'm like, where did she even ever tell us? I can't find it. All right, so this is untrimmed. And I think I have another one that's untrimmed somewhere so we can compare. Yes, I do. It's going to be harder to see, though. Yeah, Brenda has a husband with a brain injury. She has a lot of caretaking. So it is slightly smaller, but because I have that extra 1/4 of an inch, these still might trim down to 4.5 inches. It's a little bit skinnier because it isn't, you know, because we noticed that it was slightly skinnier this way or thinner. But it does look like an orange peel. Let's see if I got a little ruler over here for trimming. I should. If not, I'm going to go get one because I want to trim it up and see what it looks like. I know you guys can entertain yourselves as I walk around the sewing room looking for my ruler. I know, the teacher is great. Thankfully, she had leftovers from last year, so she's like, it's no big deal. But man, they have so much stuff. I would have driven one over there had I known. Like, I don't know, I would have left work. Man, it's brutal. It's brutal out there trying to remember stuff. Thankfully, it's all good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good stuff I have to remember. Hi, Patty. How are you? Sorry I missed you. So, all right. So, and my rotary cutter. Jeez. Unprepared. Just like I was for my son's class. Unprepared. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. But I think if we start at 4, well, we're going to have to do it a little bit. Going to have to eyeball this a little bit, but that's okay. It usually works out in the end. And Dawn, if you decide to use these, I will show you with a different color how I would do it so it's easier to see, because it is quite, I'm sure it is quite difficult to see the white. This might end up being like a hair under 4.5. But if you were going to make a quilt with like just these and no other shapes, I don't even know if you would notice. You might be able to fudge it if you're a fudger. I'm a fudger, so I wouldn't mind fudging a little. It's kind of how I roll. So I kind of believe that it all works out in the end somehow. I am not a type A quilter, that is for sure. Like, this might be a smidge smaller than a 1/4 of an inch, but it might be because I'm just not fully... Yeah, it's a smidge under a 1/4, but that's okay. You could definitely finagle that in seam allowances. Yeah, I probably would need to practice a little bit more on the trimming with this, because that is definitely a light 1/4 of an inch. Or you know what I could do? I bet you I could make the outer template a 1/4 of an inch longer. Ooh, I might have to try that. And then you'd have more wiggle room here. And then you would definitely get I don't know if you can help. Let's see. Ooh, let's try my fancy camera. If I can find it. All right, focus. Come on. You know you want to. It does not want to. It is definitely a smidge under of a 1/4 of an inch here. Actually, it might be like 1/8 of an inch. And you know I don't believe in eighths. That one is just about a 1/4. I bet you I could have trimmed that better. I think there's room to play with that AccuQuilt one and get it to work out. We could play with that more, but I definitely think that's nice. A little thinner. Let me find one of my final ones. So here's one of the ones I did with mine. Oh, that's probably the puffy one. They look pretty close, you know? You can tell, like, if you're really looking at it, you can tell that one's thinner. But if we could figure out the trimming, I don't think anyone would know the difference. And then you can, yeah, I'm trying to see if her AccuQuilt, well, it actually kind of worked out nice. As she just said she had an AccuQuilt and I had an orange peel, and I was like, oh, I'll help you figure out how to make the outer template. So she mailed me some of these, and I took them out and tried. I already had these cut to make my quilt pattern, and I'm like, they fit. Like, that's crazy. You know, my block was 4.5 inches. So it does work out. We'll just have to pay a little bit more attention in trimming. I know fudge does sound delicious. I do prefer to trim down to Zaza. Got to take a drink every time you get up to find the freaking blade again. That's hilarious. Melanie says, I agree. First year at a new school for my kiddo and had a lot of screw-ups. Glad it's over, but start back at July 20th. Oh my gosh, Melanie, how old is your kid? We aren't even done yet here. They finished like, I don't think it's next week. It's the week after next. So that's crazy. Yeah, I think we'd have to, which wouldn't be a big deal. I think I'd either make the outer template a smidge bigger. That might be the best case here, is I might try this again and bump this out even an extra 1/8 of an inch on each side, and then maybe add a little more here, and then I think it would be perfect. And then you wouldn't even have to worry about a smaller seam allowance. I think just adding an extra, I could even add an extra 1/4 of an inch everywhere, and then you would just have to trim. And then you wouldn't even, you would have so much space you wouldn't have to worry. I know, Melanie, where are you? That is really early. Yes, they do finish your birthday week. Which day of the week is your birthday? I can't even remember. I know I looked it up on the calendar. Did the skinnier orange peel purple make the white stretch? I don't think so, because I was careful, but it definitely could have. I just think, yeah, it definitely could have. Or I just did a bad trim, you know? Nothing would surprise me. All right, we'll put this one here. We'll put this stack here so we can play with them. She also sent me some of my favorite. She made me some AccuQuilt Flying geese. I'm going to make these. I think I'll like them, though, the way they're cut. So maybe this will make me respect the geese. We'll see, though. I'd still rather sew all of these orange peels. But those are cut, so that'll be good. All right, so now I have so many more orange peels to go. So many. I do have quite a stack done already, but here's my completed stack that just need to be trimmed. Trying to figure out which way to go here. So now I'm gonna do, I got pink, yellow, some more light green and some dark green. What about lining up the sew, up to sew the curve? I don't know. Oh, your birthday's on Thursday. Melanie, Jess is asking if Melanie's kids are in school year round. Katie's saying hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, Katie. Jess goes back to school the week of August 4th. Dang. Wow. Yeah, I agree, Arlie. There's probably some stretching. You're right. There's probably some stretching. Joy says, I wish I could afford an AccuQuilt. I would definitely buy one. Yeah, I'm not even sure how much they are. I've never even looked, but I mean, it can't be bad having an AccuQuilt. Of course, I forgot my written pattern upstairs, so I'm going to pull this picture up on my phone. Yes, I just wanted to make sure that it's all green. Oh, yeah, because I only have white outer pieces, I think, so. Green and white. Everything's green and white. Okay. Yeah, they probably stretched a little bit extra because that block is not the proper size. Dawn got a good sale, and they do BOGO near Christmas, and I'm managing to rein myself in. Tasha, thank you for testing out. You're welcome. I love a good puzzle, so I definitely want to mess with that template a little bit more. I think it'll be easy to get that a little bit better for you. Because that would be nice if you want to make some orange peel quilt and and not have to hand cut some of the curves. That would be nice. I feel like my camera is not in the normal spot. Let's see. Move myself down. There we go. I bought a huge thing of clips finally. I've been suffering through having like owning 30 clips. Got a 100 pack off Amazon. So now I'm rocking and rolling. New pins and new clips. Like $20 investment, and I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. There we go. Oh, because I was still zoomed in too. There we go. Katie says, I guess I'm going to have to learn how to do curves. I'm trying. My mission is to recruit everyone to the curvy side. It's my life's goal. Joyce is going to keep an eye out on around Christmas. Yeah. Someone had once said that they thought like maybe libraries would have it. I have thought about talking to my library. There's a lot of quilters in my area. There's like quilt guilds and stuff. I think the community could really would benefit. My little community would benefit from that. I think there's a lot of quilters that would enjoy it. So I just got these flathead. Grant is here. We are driving back from dinner. He's a captive audience. Hi, Grant. We know you love listening to quilting. When 10 people holler, add to your cart. Yes, I did. Yes, it was on the Zoom, right? That's where it was. And everyone's like, just get it. Fine, I'll do it. I'm so glad I did. So I just got these flathead pins. I've been using like 10-year-old pins that were very dull and awful. And I did go on Etsy because I'm extra, and I found somebody who sells magnetic plates. And I think that's getting delivered tomorrow. I think it was only like $8. I was like, yeah, I want that. So after tomorrow, my little flathead pins will have a little magnetic plate. And I know it's terrible. I know, let's talk controversial quilting opinions. I've been sewing over these and it's been wonderful. Like, seriously, wonderful. Are you guys sewing over your pins? Those geese are like the Marty Mitchell templates. Sorry for, oh. Oh, are there templates to, I do like how, like, the corners of the geese from the AccuQuilt or the triangles are flat, so you can buy templates like that. Oh, Sandy says, nope, she is not sewing over her pins. That was me up until, like, this week. Times are changing for me. Jess, these, like, I think they're called, they're Taylor something. They're called, like, magic flathead pins. Actually, Amanda from Stitching Life Together recommended them to me. I think she's got them in, like, her Amazon shop. These are good. They have stuck me several times. They are sharp, but that's good. I guess I'm so used to using the dull 10-year-old pins I've been using. But let me tell you what, when I was, like, grooving, sewing up all these orange peels and just sewing over my pins, it was lovely. Oh, geez. So Joy says, I've always sewn over my pins and never have broken a needle. But then Zaza follows that up with, I stopped sewing over my pins when I hit one and the needle broke and pinged off my glasses. Well, maybe I'll get some safety glasses. I was thinking the other day that, like, you know how they sell those blue light glasses for when you're at the computer? I'm like, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Like, think of all the things that can go in your eye in your sewing room. I'm like, should I just be wearing clear glasses in my sewing room? I think I'm actually going to order another set of these pins and just completely throw away those old ones. I feel bad throwing them away, but I'm like, what else? I don't know what else I would do with them. And they're so old. They're so dull. I don't know. I feel bad. Arlie says she tries not to sew over the pins, but stuff happens. Yeah. Arlie, do you use these flat pins? Or is everybody using those glass ball head ones or whatever they are? I sew slower if I leave the pins in. Yeah, I was definitely going slow. Okay, Arlie says when I'm needing to sew over a pin, I'm sewing more slowly. Yeah, I know. It is hazardous. Wear your protection. I follow Audrey from Cotton and Bourbon, and she does a lot. Like, I've talked about her a few times. And when she does her rotary cutting, she uses like on the hand that doesn't have the rotary cutter, she uses like an anti-cut glove. And I thought that's not a bad idea too. I mean, she is doing a lot more precision, but I'm like, that's not a terrible idea. Zaza. So Jess said, quilting is hazardous. Wear your protection. And Zaza says, that sounds like a sex education ad. It does. The advice is applicable to many different activities. Okay, and so Teresa is saying, I had a needle break and hit me in the head when I sewed over a pin. Never again. Dang. Okay. Yeah, I'm really enjoying these flathead pins too. I'm not sure I'll be able to go back. And Brenda says she uses the small glass head ones. That's what I was using. I'm pretty sure they were glass head. I don't know. I honestly probably just got them at Joann's. Did you guys see? I know. Like, I know the Joann news is everywhere, but that Michael's got some of the intellectual property. Has anybody gone into their Michael's? Some Michael's are selling things. I have, Arlie says I have yellow flower flathead. Ooh, I like the sounds of that. I've had them for ages. Probably should get new ones. I use glass head when I need shorter and skinnier pins. These are long, like these are a lot longer than my old ones. Yeah. Elsa says, it gave me a fright. You must have been the same. You're giving me a fright now. That was a short run for me, sewing over pins. I never knew that's why people didn't sew over them. I always knew that it was taboo. But I didn't know why. Now I know. These pins, though, like the first time you open them, you have to like crack some of the plastic. It's kind of funny. Like, these are making a weird noise. Oops, that Nightbot says the first Zoom is at 8 p.m. tomorrow. That's old news. We do have another Zoom in the clubhouse coming up the week after next, I think, but it is not tomorrow. I forgot to update that. That was fun. I had fun. I see sometimes, like in some of the Facebook groups I'm in, some of the sewing injuries, and I'm like, oh God, I've been so lucky. These things, though, man, they are sharp. I drew some drops of blood the other day with them. I guess I'll have to revert to my old ways. I need to change this needle too. I have not changed this needle in so long. I meant to start to change it before I started sewing on this project, and I never did. Arlie's cut myself with a rotary cutter, not fun. Didn't get blood on the... Hey, Arlie! Didn't get blood on the fabric. You know what you're doing. Zaza says, I have tiny Karen K Buckley pins that are super sharp, but they are so easy to lose. I prefer the flathead, easier to see. Yes, these are nice. You drop these on the floor, you're finding them. And that's one thing I'm like really crazy about. Like, my sewing room is a disaster, and sometimes like the floor always needs to be vacuumed. But I am psychotic about the pins just because I'm usually in my socks. Good night, Mona. Thanks for coming by, and thanks for fixing that link. I'm definitely gonna send that over to Amanda later. But I'm like crazy because me and the kids are always in our socks in here because I can't sew with shoes on. I don't know. It's weird. So I'm like crazy about like, did I just drop a pin? Where is it? Get a magnet out, vacuum up. So these are definitely nicer. I'm going to pull it out now. I'm scared. I do go pretty slow sewing curves anyway. But... because I like to, when I pin these, I'm spending the time pinning these to make sure the fabric's laying where I want it to lay. So I like to go slow to make sure that the fabric is doing what I want it to do. But it goes faster now. I mean, I've done this a couple times. And I have to take the second portion of this workshop I started for the Hexi-Board quilt from Jenny Haynes, Paper Saxton, and she teaches the no-sew curves, so I gotta figure that out. Dawn says, Grant said Granger has a bio shield that stops grinding wheel. Oh, that will stop needles, and the headbands are comfortable. Granger has a bio shield that stops grinding. Oh. So it's like a little thing you put over your face. Am I reading that right? Hi, Susan. How are you? Laura says, I never sew over a pin. Well, I did for like 3 days. Teresa says, that's right, Arlie. Protect the fabric at all costs. We all have our priorities in order. Fingers come secondary to the fabric. Now, has anyone ever used those, like, when I was searching for a magnetic dish, they have, like, the little magnets you wear as a bracelet. Does anybody do that? Or wear those? It's like a clear shield over the, oh, yeah, over the full mask. Over the face, full face mask. Okay, yeah, I remember those, like, seeing people like those in the pandemic. Hi, Melinda, how are you? I did until everybody told me about it breaking their needles and it smacking them in their glasses or on their head. Now I'm like, maybe it's not worth it. Although there's quite a few people who said they've done it forever and never had an injury, but I do know my luck. And let's just say that if it wasn't for bad luck, I might not have any luck at all. Not always, but I do tend to be unlucky sometimes in that stuff. Melinda, when are your quilt patterns coming out? Melinda's trying to do 5 quilt patterns at once. They're really pretty. She is, what is it? Hampton. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Oh my God, Melinda, put it in the chat what your Instagram is. Hampton Inn? Hampton. Why do I want to say Hampton Inn? What's wrong with me? I can't think of it. Melinda, help me. Why do I have like Hampton Inn? Is it Hampton Inn? But now I'm like, no, that's a hotel. Is that a hotel? Yeah, like the COVID face shields. That's what I was thinking of. Susan says, I just finished quilting, trimming, and binding a quilt today. I'm giving it to my niece for graduation. I bought the fabric pens so her guest can sign her quilt back. That's so nice, Susan. What a great idea. Hampton Quilt Studio. Why did the word "in" just kept going into my brain? Melinda Quilts would have been easier for me. Says Tasha Quilts. At least I got the Hampton right. I was just like, what? Like, I don't know. I just could not. It's so funny. My brain. Today was like one of those days at work too, where like, man, people kept putting all these pop-up. I've been at my company a long time and I have like a lot of random info stuffed into this brain of mine, but it just like felt like everyone, do you remember back in 2019 when we set this up? Do you remember why? I'm like, oh my God. And I did actually remember. John says, we're home now, and I asked Grant if he wants to finish the show. No, I'm good, thanks. I said, well, this is my life. He says, you do you, but I'm going to watch TV. I think the Hampton Inn is a hotel chain. Yes, and I think that's why my brain was doing that. Oops, I accidentally sewed over one without even realizing it. That's all right. I was listening to the other night. I stayed up until like after midnight sewing. Saturday night, I think it was. And for part of it, I was listening to 90s pop. And you know that song, It's Not Right, but It's Okay. I'm going to Make It Anyway. Who is that? It's one of the greats. Is it Whitney? Is it good old Whitney? And now I'm like, oh, that's okay. And every time I say that's okay, that's all I can think is that song. I'm not going to sing it for you guys. It is not Tasha Sings. These are coming out nice. Even though I could keep going, I always, for some reason, just like to stop. And take a look. Oh, yeah, so just confirmed Hampton Inn. Tiffany at Tiffy's Quilting Life made a custom tag with her school colors. It will be a great memory for her. That is really, really sweet. Dawn says, I told her husband about Sean who sews, and he said, yeah, well, he's got extra cool guy points to spare with the accent. That is really sweet, Susan. I'm noting that away for the future. That is really funny, Dawn. Does anybody have fun weekend plans? I know it's Father's Day here in the U.S., not sure about elsewhere. And sometimes that's a good thing for people, and sometimes it's a sad thing for people. So I'll be thinking of all of those that will be missing their dads this weekend. I thankfully have both dads, my father and my father-in-law, that will be coming over. My dad's coming over Saturday, my father-in-law's coming over Sunday. So you know what that means? I gotta clean. I gotta get this house company ready, company clean, which is always nice to do. I don't think my stepmom's watching. She knows what I got my dad, but I don't want my dad to hear. If you're watching, go, turn it down the volume. I feel like sometimes they watch, but they never comment, but that's fine. Oh my, hi Paris. Behave. This is a bunch of quilters. I got my dad this walking stick for Father's Day, and it's got like all these different tools inside of it, like a spearhead, a fishing line. I'm pretty excited about that gift. I saw it like 1 o'clock in the morning on TikTok, and impulse bought it. Jess, oh, you're gonna be with Sean on Saturday? Oh, fun. Wait, does William, I still don't understand William's streaming schedule. Maybe you can help me with this. Does he have routine days? I'm like always checking. I can't remember what days he streams and not. Is it like a standard schedule that I should have caught on to by now? Because like, will you be up late Friday and then do it Saturday too? That's crazy. Paris says, my father sold me for a bag of chips. That, untrue. He would have had to give the bag of chips away with you to make it an even exchange. Oh, Jess, you're a good woman. So before I was a quilter, I used to play a lot of video games. I think I've mentioned. I switched to Mondays, and Melinda, today is Thursday, girl. So Hampton Inn and days of the week. We're not doing great today, me and you. So I still will be on Mondays, but this Monday I wasn't live because my daughter was sick, so I decided I would try tonight. I'm gonna have to like text it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I can remember that. Yeah, so mostly I'll be on Mondays, but every now and again, if something doesn't line up, I'll pop in. Because I'm pretty excited. Today, it was very satisfying. I don't know how many of you know about getting monetized on YouTube, but to get monetized on YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and then you have to have 4,000 watch hours. I think I've talked about this before. And today, I hit exactly even 3,500. So I'm pretty excited. So I was like, maybe we'll go live and get 20 more hours if I get 20 people to watch. Listen, guys, Paris, before I started quilting, I used to play video games. I've mentioned this. Paris and I met playing Call of Duty when we were like, oh my God, how long ago was that? It was like 15 years ago when we were just little kids, basically. And now we all both have kids. He is driving truck across the country, and I have a quilting YouTube channel. So don't take anything he says seriously. Well, no, you being here, Dawn, is an hour. So this is great. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Chloe, hi. I was going to message you. Do we have good news on the strike? Do we? But it was just so satisfying that it was $3,500 or $3,500. I wish 3,500 hours even, not 3,501, not 3,502. Like today, I woke up to 3,500 even. Like that was very satisfying to my brain. Hi, Katie. Sorry I missed you come in. I was blabbing. Dawn says, do I quilt or fold fabric? I don't know. How tired are you? If you're feeling a little sleepy, I'd go with folding. It is cool that we're still in touch, and there's actually somebody else that we played. We all met on the wonderful PlayStation 3 through voice chat. And there's one other girl that we keep in touch with too, and we still kind of drifted apart for a little bit there, and we're all kind of coming back together, so it's fun. And I still do play video games with them on occasion. But I don't play Call of Duty anymore because I don't have the hand-eye coordination for it. But my son is playing Fortnite these days. And he's like, Mom, wouldn't it be so fun if you played Fortnite with me? And I was like, oh, honey, I don't know if I got it in me anymore. Jeez. Thank you, everybody, for saying congratulations. It's a fun milestone for sure. Like, it's nice to see, you know, it's fun. It's just very fun for me. Chloe says, no good news, hoping to negotiate next week. Oh, Chloe, I'm so sorry. Chloe has been on strike for like, what, 3 weeks now? Very stressful. I do think it's kind of weird that YouTube will put ads on your videos before you hit monetization, but like they only give you your cut once you hit certain thresholds. Like you're good enough to have ads placed on your content, but you're not good enough to get paid. Fine. Five weeks, Chloe. Jeez. Thank you, everyone. Yes, I hope they do come to an agreement. That's crazy. And it's like I don't know if it's exactly a hospital, but I'm pretty sure it's a hospital you work in too, so it's even crazier. All right, we're going to press some of these and then we can pin another batch. I do love this iron. Well, you can't see it, but I have this iron over here. The like cordless one. I do really like that. That was a good purchase. So Dawn, I think they recently made and I haven't researched it because I'm obviously not monetized, so I don't have any input over any ads on my stuff yet, but they made a change now where if videos are over a certain length, they add extra what they call mid-roll ads. So the ads that show at the end or in the middle of the videos. And I do know that if you're monetized, you can kind of go in and influence some of those, I believe. But for people like me who are not monetized, YouTube is just making all of the decisions. And even once I am monetized, YouTube still kind of does what it's going to do. But they did make some sort of change now to videos that are like 8 minutes or longer that I have to read up on. But yeah, I think it was like within the last month. So if you've noticed it recently, it's real. A psychiatric hospital. Yeah, that is crazy. YouTube wants that ad revenue. No matter how many I do, it's always so satisfying when it looks right. Oops, that one's... I have learned, though, that gotta make sure I press it. Those little folds do irk me if I don't get it right. Yeah, Laura, how's your sewing going? Have you gotten back to your sewing machine? I haven't asked for an update in a while. They denied me, so I don't get it. That's weird, Jess. Did they give you a reason why? It's so finicky. I know, that's the other thing that's going to bug me. I'll finally get the threshold, then I'll apply and be denied. Although I did hit like the smaller threshold where you could like set up a YouTube membership and stuff. And I did go through and apply for all that and got approved. So I'm hoping I won't get denied. But you never know. Zaza says, Tasha, poor choice of words. Great choice of words. Psychiatric hospital, that's crazy. True. Sorry, Chloe. For me, you don't have, like, right now, just watching here is really, that's it. That's good for me. That's all I need. We all just want to pay the rent, you know? Yep, we do. That's why I say when I go to work, paying my mortgage is my favorite hobby. So, Jess, I think you're still out there because you just commented not that long ago. I sent you that email because I had that epiphany the other night, and I can't remember if you were here when I was at the beginning saying it. But when you pin on the second orange peel with my templates, because they have that extra 1/4 inch, you want to line up the edges to the end of the orange peel, not the end of the outer template. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to pin, hold on, let me pin the center because I do it the same way every time. And then you line up with the orange peel, which will be slightly shorter than the edge, which is very hard to see because it's white on white. But these do not line up exactly. There's like a 1/4 inch here. You can technically, it will stretch to the edge, but then it will be a little puffy. So because I have an extra 1/4 inch in the templates, when you trim it, it'll be okay. But if you do this before I get a chance to do a video tutorial where I can really show it, make sure you're lining up to the orange peel in the back when you put the second one on. And then you trim the side that's wonky first. And it will work out, I promise. But it is a little counterintuitive. Okay, good. I'm glad. I was like, oh. Brenda and I have both made quilts, both my patterns and other people's patterns that do the same thing. And we have stretched it to the edge and it's been fine. It does create a little puff, which kind of makes you nervous when you're quilting that you might get a pleat, but I've never gotten a pleat. Brenda said she didn't either. But, you know, it's better if you don't stretch it. I have decided that that is my favorite way to do, or the best way to do it now. Cool. Yeah. Before you cut in your, oh my God, I saw your like post about, you know, doing the challenge for the QuiltCon, and then I had that epiphany and I was like, oh no, I don't want her to sew her QuiltCon fabric and have puff, even though I know it would be fine, but I was like, I need to tell her immediately. Joe from Vintage Joe said her videos over a year weren't counting for watch hours for monetization. So the rule for that is it's there is a year mark, but how it is you have to get 4,000 hours in a year. So if she made a video 18 months ago, the watch hours she got in the first 6 months that it was up no longer count. But if somebody watches it today, it will count. But you have to get the 4,000 watch hours in a 12-month period. So You make a video 10 years ago, somebody watches it within the last 12 months, counts. You make a video 10 years ago, the hours they watched 10 years ago don't count. So it's very specific. Laura says, Tasha, I've been sewing, but not a lot lately. Well, I'm glad you have been sewing. Oh, I've been dealing with more health issues. Unfortunately, the health issues have to take priority. That they do. Well, we'll be thinking of you, Laura. Oh, cool. Yes, please do send me the pictures, Jess. I would love to see them. The colors look beautiful. I love those colors. I was like, oh, I might need to get in on this. But I don't think I could finish in time. Like, I think you said it has to be done soonish. So I got enough on my plate. Yeah, it's the rolling 12 months of watch hours. It is not cool, Katie, though. So I had a video go kind of crazy last September. And so I'm like, if I don't get to 4,000 by September, which I think I will, that 800 hours will expire, and then I'll have, you know what I mean? And then I'll have to catch it up. So it's fine either way. Like, I'm totally fine. I'm super happy with, you know, making this happen while I work full time and in a way that feels right to me. So it's been very fun for me. I do this for fun. Yes. So you could still go watch her old videos. Like, seriously, throw on a playlist if she's trying to get there. You can watch the old videos. It will count. You have to do it now. She just might be a little mixed up with it is confusing. But I'm like a psycho. Here I am with the crazy talk. I should probably stop that. Before I tried to blog before and all this stuff. So I don't know. And I'm an accountant. I find business things and all that stuff interesting. So I've watched way too many podcasts on this stuff. That's what I do when I'm trying to fall asleep. I'm either listening to Jess and William or some random podcast about something about business. But October 31st, the quilt needs to be completed. Oh. Well, October 31st isn't terrible. Zaza says, Tasha, you should enter your new quilt into QuiltCon, as they love when people design their own patterns and they love curves. So here's the thing, Zaza, is I used to think that I was a modern quilter. Again, sorry, anybody who's seeing that Nightbot, that's fake news. The next Zoom day is in 2 weeks. I have fake news on my chat. My bad. I used to think I was a modern quilter until I saw some of these modern quilts, and I'm like, I don't really know if these quilts are modern. I feel like I'm still pretty traditional. I've kind of had this a thought that, oh my God, I thought I was modern, but I don't think I am modern. I mean, not that I really care about labels, but I don't know if this would be something QuiltCon would like. Do you think? When people need their hours, I put my Kindle on and so I don't, like I said, a lot of time, I love to talk about this stuff. I'm super fascinated with it. And I didn't know that my husband was listening to me when I was telling him all these stories, because I get excited about my watch hours and stuff. And not that long ago, he told me he's letting my playlist run while he's at work. And for some reason, I was like, that's really sweet that you listened and you figured out how to find my channel and you found my play. He's not a big technology guy. He's just not, which is probably why we are opposites and we blend well. And so I thought that, I was like, that's the sweetest thing you've ever done. That's so nice of you. That's true. The worst they can say. Jess says, I do have a modern style. Brenda says, you use only solids. That's modern. Oh yeah, I always forget that, but that's what Oh, hi, Fallon. Fallon, finally made it to alive, and I haven't talked about our ruler yet. The ruler that I always talk about that's 3 feet away. When I'm always talking about how much I love this ruler, it's always Fallon I'm talking about. I always forget that solids are a modern style too. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will. But I don't know. I always get weirded out like my quilt. Maybe I could get it long armed though. I do have a long armor, I know. Maybe I will. You might have inspired me. I know, Don, I thought that was super nice. Every now and again, the husbands like to remind you why they should be kept around. I hear you've been watching the Karen Reed trial, Fallon. I'm going to try to watch the closing arguments tomorrow. Dawn goes, we promise. It's a repeated subject, that ruler. I'm not saying that because she's here. I love that damn ruler. Maybe this whole quilting community could do an exhibit together. That would be so fun. Do you know what else I really like this ruler for, Fallon? Is marking triangles. When I was doing half square triangles, I just thought it was like easy to like, yeah. So I use it for foundation paper piecing, but then I also like to use it for anything I'm trimming. Like half square triangles or marking. It's nice. I like the handle. I think that's what's so funny is I bought like that big ruler you have that I can't even remember the name of it. And that one was more expensive. And then I bought this one just because I was like, oh, this is like, you know, a nice little like cheaper add-on. And I like this one, even though I went to the store to buy the big one. And I have never used the big one yet. I'm sure that's great too. I just haven't used it yet. We are all guilty of buying things and then not using them, I think. Collecting things and using things are different hobbies. So I haven't had a chance to watch this one because my stinking day job has been day jobbing. But I found that Emily D. Baker, she's on YouTube. For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, she covers live trials. And I'm telling you, like my boss was cracking up because we were still in the office back then. But that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, I would pause it. And like the second a meeting was done, I'd be and everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working and listening to the trial. So I haven't had a chance to keep up with this one, but I'm definitely going to watch the closing arguments. It's true. The smaller stuff is easier to just keep by you. I love that thing. I think I love it. Yes, the side lock. That is the one that I originally bought. But Katie says, I've been watching the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. So glad they found her guilty again. Oh, I think I saw something about that one too. I watched her for the trials too. I watched that. Yeah, that that got me into watching trials. And then I watched what was the, except for that one, didn't make me happy. That guy with I mean, none of them make me happy, but the guy with that went through the parade, that one, that was a hard watch. But I watched that with her too. I really enjoy watching her commentary. All right, the next batch are pinned. Man, when I have to start, what I was thinking too, because like I mentioned earlier, I'll be on Katie's live tomorrow. Well, I'll probably still be sewing. In my head, I was like, I don't have that many left. Maybe I'll be done. I will not be done because I was like, man, it's going to stink when I have to trim all these. Maybe I'll be ready to trim on Monday for the Monday live. Because I'm going to need you guys for moral support when I'm trimming all of these blocks. You know how I feel about trimming. You all know. I am pulling the pins out now because I'm scared. Daryl Brooks, that's the one. Ugh. That guy. Yeah, but now I'm like, now my algorithm is so weird. Like, I'll wake up, like, 'cause I'll fall asleep watching YouTube, and I'll wake up and I'll be in the middle of like a child support hearing. Like my algorithm just feeds me like all kinds of trials now. And I'm like, or custody trials. And I'm like so invested in these custody trials of people I've never met that I'll never know. What am I doing? Why am I watching court cases? I don't know, but I am. My husband's gonna try to smoke ribs for the first time on Sunday. He just got a new smoker grill thing. And his whole family's coming over, and I feel like that's not the time to like test out something for the first time. So he's smoking like 3 racks of ribs, he said. I hope for him that it works out. I'm gonna make extra side dishes just in case. Not that I'm doubting him. Yeah, that was wild. Hats on a mission. Hello. Palin said, I watched your interview on Katie's channel. It was great. Thank you. I love to gab. Twist my arm to make me talk about quilting. Yes, the real Law and Order, for real. Now I'm like starting to know the Guardium ad litem. Yeah, that's true, Dawn. My dad is coming over on Saturday and wants burgers. Can you smoke burgers? I'm sure you could smoke anything. I don't know. Hopefully he knows what he's doing. But if not, I'm going to have enough pasta salad and other stuff to make sure nobody leaves hungry. My dad wanted salt potatoes. I don't like potatoes. I know that's controversial. I know it. I don't like potatoes. So my husband's pretty excited about that because now my kids don't really like potatoes because we never really ate them because I don't like them. So I've ruined my children now too. Someday they're going to like have mashed potatoes somewhere and finally be willing to try them. And they'll be like, my mom withheld mashed potatoes from me my whole life. Yeah, I think he really should, especially, that's a lot of ribs to not like. But, you know, there's no talking to him. He's got a mission in his mind, and I'm staying out of it. Fallon says, I could live off potatoes. I think my husband could, too. I could live off angel hair pasta. Facts. Not healthy, but delicious. Oh, Dawn says, sure can. A friend of mine made s'mores on a smoker in a tin. Good, but great the next day. No kidding. I know I've seen like all those like barbecue cooking shows on the Cooking Network. And they're smoking all kinds of stuff, so. But it takes a long time, doesn't it? Hope he's ready. Jess says, I eat all potatoes all the ways possible. The only thing if they're crunchy, so like really thin, like McDonald's French fries, like the thin, like what do they call those? Shoestring. And I have gotten to the point now where I can do, I think it's a texture thing. And then it's also like my dad would make, I mean, he's a good dad, but he would be like, mashed potatoes are so good, you have to eat them. And he wouldn't let me leave the table until I would eat some. And now, like, the smell makes me gag. So I'm like, I think partial of it was a texture issue. But then, like, you know, when you're forced to eat something that you don't want to eat, like, your body just is like I could almost gag just remembering the memory of it. Sorry, Dad. I know you were trying to look out for your daughter and make sure that I liked potatoes. You ruined me. So now if my kids don't like something, I'm like, take one test bite and that's it. I don't like make them choke it down. And they'll probably make their kids choke things down because they won't have that memory. And then the cycles will just go back and forth. Brenda says we grew up on potatoes. Yeah, my dad used to make them a lot. Like, he would fry potatoes for breakfast and everything, and I just... not for me. Like, you know, like the style of hash browns you get at McDonald's? Sometimes I can eat them if they're crispy. Or one time, my husband did make them at home. CJ made them at home, and he made them really crispy. But, yeah, it has to be crispy. Mashed potatoes, scalloped potatoes, not going to happen. I tried oatmeal, like, in the last 5 years, thinking, because everyone's like, oh, it's such a good breakfast. I gagged on it. I'm going to try it again. I got some overnight oats, but I'm like, maybe if I put walnuts in it? I don't know. Like, I'm a grown adult. Why can't I just eat this food? My brother can't eat peas. We stopped the test bite with peas. The look of disgust on his face. Like, sometimes you just can't help it, you know? I'm trying to be cool with my kids, but let me tell you what, my daughter, she's 5. That girl could live off cheese. At one point, we had to have, like, cheese sticks, cheese cubes, cheese rectangles. Like, she was a cheese connoisseur. She wanted the Colby Jack cheese or the string cheese stick. All the kinds of cheese, right? The other day, we made cheese quesadillas. She said the cheese was too thick. Ma'am, you eat cheese as a main food group in your diet. That is, like, one of the only things I can get that kid to eat. And you're going to tell me that the cheese is too thick? I was like, no, you need to eat another bite. This is cheese on bread. Cheese on bread. You can do it. You can do it. I can't eat it plain still, but I put brown sugar, strawberries, and see, the almond slivers, that sounds really good. The almond slivers would probably do it for me. Right now, though, for breakfast, well, oh my gosh. So I was trying to get like 60 grams of 110 grams of protein in a day. And so I bought this girl I work with was like, you need to try this, like, it's this Rise, R-Y-S-E, Skippy protein powder. And so I bought like this little jug, like this big jug. And I put like Greek yogurt, frozen berries, that protein powder, and a little bit of milk or water, and it reminds me of like peanut butter and jelly. Like, not exactly, of course, but it's reminiscent of PB&J. So I love that smoothie now. Like, it has like 60 grams of protein if you use Fairlife milk in it. Whatever, I know I'm rambling, but great. Well, in the middle of the night, I was like, man, I'm getting low on that protein powder. I should buy another thing. Well, I wasn't paying attention. I know that's hard to believe that I would do anything without like fully thinking about it. And I ordered another jug, and it came like 2 days later. This jug is this big. It was $75, and I wasn't paying attention. It's huge. You can't even see my hands because it's so big. This is the biggest jug of protein powder I've ever seen. Why do they make protein powder that big? Who needs that much protein? I have so many questions. So I won't be trying any oatmeal for a while, probably, because I'm going to be eating Greek yogurt smoothies. Like 6 months. I think they said it's like 50 servings, so it's not that bad, but oh my God. What was I doing? Zaza says, nothing wrong with loving cheese. I get what she means. Some pizzas have too much cheese. I agree, but Zaza, this was not that. So I'm like, but, you know, so I said to my husband, next time you're going to have to put a thinner layer of cheese on Josie's. The cheese lover of the family can't have too much cheese. Oh, kids. We're buying the Baby Bell cheeses right now. Or is that the Baby Bell ones? The one in the wax? The kids are going crazy for them. Yeah, I agree. Texture. Brenda says, cinnamon sliced apples and blueberries. That sounds good. Hey, Sean, how are you? Teresa says, I can eat cheese on anything. Yep, same. Brenda says I would add a 1/4 cup of oats to my smoothie. I actually just started adding some chia seeds because I heard those are really good for you. And I can't really taste them in there. So that's I've had to have that like the last 3 mornings. Yeah, Laura. The biggest problem with that thing of oatmeal is, where do you store it? It's so big. It doesn't fit in any of my cupboards. Nothing. Jess says, I have to eat 100 grams minimum. I eat a lot of eggs and plain Greek yogurt with fruit and honey. Yeah, we have chickens and now we have too many eggs. So I'll be eating, I just like hard-boiled 16 eggs. So I'll be eating some eggs in the next couple of days too, next few days. Paris says, I'm sitting here in my truck cracking up listening to you. The gag when you talk about potatoes. Hey, that's true. I can't believe I haven't told you that story before, Paris. Laura says, I have to be careful with protein powder. I know my friend goes, have you ever researched forever chemicals? And I'm like, I'm not researching anything until that big jug of protein powder's gone. Katie says, Bob bought a huge container of protein powder. Then he realized it has too many carbs, mostly sugar, crud. Oh, yeah, this one is very not sugar. Very not sugar. I cannot get to the plain Greek yogurt yet, but I'm wondering if I can get there. Man, that stuff's tough to choke down. Zaza says, I hate Baby Bell cheese, but the small angry one likes their lactose-free one as she's intolerant and loves cheese. Ah, that's... I don't know if anybody else here is chronically online. They have the meme where they're like, the devil couldn't reach me, so he made me love cheese and made me lactose intolerant. Powdered milk is a great source of protein to add to things. I have never seen a powdered milk in my life. I did not even know powdered milk was something that existed. That is the first for me. Other than formula. I'm not drinking that though. Yeah, Zaza, how old is your small angry one? Wait till you hear. Add a bit of honey to the plain Greek yogurt or fruit. I think that's what Jess said she does, but I don't know. I haven't watched Sean's video yet, but Sean's floppy disk block is out. I don't have mine handy. I'm unprepared. I think it's somewhere in a bin where I have all my orphan quilt blocks. But you guys might remember me making that floppy disk block. So if you go over to his channel, The Guy Who Sews. Yeah, she's 23, Dawn. I do drink coffee. I do drink coffee. I tried to save money and bought powdered milk for drink. 1 out of 10. No. Dawn gives powdered milk 0 out of 5 stars. Maybe 1 out of 5 stars. And just a reminder, if that fake news pops up again, there is not a Zoom call tomorrow. That is fake old news. It is in a couple of weeks. All right, almost done with light green. And then we got pink and yellow. I love these colors so much. And then I'll move on to the quarter circle blocks, but. So you can buy it in bulk at Bulk Barn to try it. I have never seen or heard of anyone using powdered milk. That is so interesting. So I do drink iced coffee, but I drink hot coffee on occasion too. But I did buy this, what is it? I think it's maple cinnamon protein powder, and it is really tasty. That actually is a great idea to add to coffee. That is a great idea. Zaza says, Dawn, you're not supposed to drink it. Well, she didn't say that, but she's saying she wouldn't drink it, but it's good for adding to sauces, soups, etc. for the protein. That's very interesting. I don't do powder anything. I like to chew my protein. Give me eggs and a big old steak. Yeah, I don't like a plain protein shake, but I'm telling you, this like Greek yogurt smoothie, I guess, is, I'm like obsessed with it right now. Fixated. Laura's been trying to consume 100 grams of protein. I'm trying to do 110. I found some calculator online, so it must be true. Fallon says I do not like powdered milk. It must be a mental thing. I'm impressed you've heard it. Is it come in like a bag, a jar? Can't even comprehend this. Oh, Fallon's saying she does use it in bread, and Brenda's saying some bread machines. I feel like I'm learning something crazy today. Powdered milk. Who knew? Salsa says when I was ill, I had to consume a huge amount of carbs and protein, so it was a good way to get extra protein in my diet. Sounds like it. Kind of like a more natural protein powder. Or I guess that's exactly what it is. I've never used a bread machine, but I was thinking about it. I was like, if I go garage sailing this summer, I'm looking for a bread machine. Try not to buy all this crap new anymore. Like, let me give me somebody else's junk. I'll try it and then do something with it. Comes in a bag. Okay. Comes in instant potato box. Got it like 15 years ago. Okay. Linda says I was going to say that I also use it in my bread machine, and it comes in boxes and plastic tubs. Okay, so it comes in a variety. I think Carnation makes powdered milk. Oh, I have seen Carnation stuff before. Maybe I've seen it before and not realized that it was powdered milk. My grandma used to use powdered milk for milk. I guess it was cheaper. I think that's what Dawn said. Not for her. Interesting. So Becca has a great bread recipe on her website. I'll check it out. Well, maybe I will. Let's be real. I don't know if I'm making any bread. But I used to make a lot of sourdough bread. I haven't done that in quite a while. Comes in a box and I don't like it either. Almost as a varying topic like sewing over pins. Although I think most people have agreed that they don't want to drink it. That seems pretty universal. Oh my gosh, it's 9:52 already. Oh my gosh, just been gabbing, not even paying attention to the time. Easy way to keep milk a while without it spoiling. Yeah, I know. My stepmom said she freezes milk sometimes, or used to, or something. I don't know. Or it could be done. Maybe that's what she was telling me. Fallon says, I have a sourdough starter I'm trying to baby right now. It's so much work. Mine's been in the fridge and hasn't been fed for like 6 months, so we'll see. If I had known about that during like 2020, right after I had a baby and had the most severe postpartum anxiety coupled with a pandemic that you've ever seen in your life, I would have bought cases of it. I would have. So I'm glad I didn't know it existed back then. Oh, that makes sense. Teresa says there were 11 of us. Dang. Your mama. And mom would make it once in a while to make our milk last longer. Yeah, and I'm sure even if you mixed it in with real milk, right? That would definitely stretch it. I've never had goat's milk either. Good night, Brenda. Yeah, I'm going to be ending shortly. Oh, yeah, because Canada gets their milk in bags. I freeze our milk bags. That's a good idea. That blew my mind when I saw that the first time. Was not expecting milk in a bag. I think I was like a teenager too, and I thought it was like literally the most ridiculous thing in my life. Now I think it's kind of smart. I hope Brenda's hockey game went well. I know she's watching that, whatever that hockey is. They do look weird. Does your milk not come in a bag, Zaza? Kind of feel like in my mind in Scotland, you guys are still getting milk delivered. So amazing, and no, it's probably not the case. My third daughter was 11 weeks preemie, and I raised her on goat's milk. She loves it to this day, and she's 48. That's amazing. That is truly amazing. Yeah, do you have peanut butter? We need to know, Zaza. You can still get milk delivered. I love that. That feels very, very much like a Scotland thing to me. Very no basis of that opinion. Peanut butter has to be everywhere, right? That's fake news again. About the Zoom. If anybody new here, don't listen to the fake news. Next Zoom is in a couple weeks. Oh, all right, Brenda. I'll text you in a minute anyway. Peanut butter is international. Thank goodness. I never would eat peanut butter when I was a kid. I used to tell my dad that, or my mom and my dad, that peanut butter was dirty and it was for boys. Now I really like it, but I seriously only started liking it like after I had kids. So in the last like decade. Peanut butter and jelly is a US thing. Missing out. Crunchy peanut butter with either grape jam or raspberry jam. That is my jam. But I think, and I can't wait because summer's finally here. It's almost time to go swimming. We're finally getting warm weather. After you go swimming, you need, on that white bread that sticks to the roof of your mouth, you need crunchy peanut butter, grape jam or jelly with red, like the red nacho cheese Doritos on it. That hits so good after swimming. That is what I ate all the time when I was a kid. And so, like, I make my kids that sandwich. Although my daughter won't eat peanut butter. Wonder where she gets that from. So sometimes she doesn't get that. But, man. Oh. Katie says they can get milk delivery in Denver. That's cool. Are you guys neighbors? Lakewood in Denver? It's so funny how small the world really is. You think you're like anonymous and you'll never know anybody, and then you stumble upon somebody. Oh, it does taste good. It does taste really good. My neighbors, who we used to call Grandma Ruth and Grandpa Bob would always have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a slice of cheese on it. So, and I thought that was disgusting. And then I realized as an adult, well, you're putting nacho cheese flavored Doritos on your sandwich. Are you really that much different? Oh, you guys are neighbors. Fun. All right, well, I'm going to start getting ready to go. But I think as a recap, I will be on Katie's channel tomorrow at 4:30. Of course. And then Sean will be live Saturday morning at 8:30 with So Blessed by Jess, who was in the chat. The guy who sews and So Blessed by Jess. So I know most of you already know where to go for all of that. But a nice little reminder. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, William. my so-called life. It takes me forever to remember that because I always want to say his channel is The House of Sewing. He's ruined my brain. Milk delivery is better for the environment here as they use glass bottles that get... Yes, we can buy glass bottles at some places around here too. I always put banana on my PB&Js. I've never tried that, but that sounds good. My son really loves a good peanut butter and fluff sandwich. Yes, Fallon, thank you for coming. Oh, 8 o'clock on Saturday. 8:30 for me when I finally roll out of bed. 8 o'clock on Saturday for the guy who sews. Yeah, let him know that I call him the House of Sewing. Oh, that's amazing that Katie and Dawn are a little bit apart. Well, if you guys want to get in touch, you can email me, Tasha at Tasha Quilts, and I can exchange your email addresses for you if you want. No pressure, though. Yeah, I've never tried Vegemite. I don't plan on trying it. I've seen some videos on TikTok of people trying Vegemite, and that's cool for me. That was good enough for me. All right, well, thanks everybody for hanging out with me for so long. That zipped by. I got quite a few orange peels done and a bunch more pinned, and I'll be pinning some more on Katie's Life tomorrow. So, I hope you guys all have a good Friday and a good weekend, and I'll be back Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern again for my regular time, as provided no stomach bug hits our house. So, thanks Fallon for coming. Thanks everybody. Thanks Linda, Dawn, Chloe, Katie.